Hi there. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Bruce Stetar, and I have the honor of being the chair of your Acbsp Board of Directors for the next 12 months. In fact, I just assumed my position as the chair last week at the Board of Directors meeting that took place following the close of the 2020 Acbsp Annual Conference, the first ever virtual conference held by Acbsp. This is the first of what I hope will be a regularly occurring set of video updates that I will share with you over the next 12 months. With the challenges we are all facing in what's fast becoming the new normal of the COVID-19 world, I'm not going to get the opportunity to meet with you as many in a face-to-face situation as I normally would have during my year as the board chair. To make up for that, and to try to be more visible to you, the association members, I will be doing these video updates. So I hope you enjoy this one and you will join me for future ones. To start off with, for those of you who don't know me, I am currently an Associate Dean in the College of Business at Western Governors University, a private, not-for-profit, fully online, competency-based institution based here in Salt Lake City, Utah, where my wife Janet and I live at the base of the beautiful Wasatch Mountains. I'm a father of three and a grandfather of three who's originally from Canada. I've always been involved or have been involved with Acbsp in a variety of leadership roles since 2007, and I can honestly say that some of the accomplishments that I'm most proud of from a professional standpoint are linked to my work with Acbsp. As I said earlier, I assumed my role only recently when I took over the position from my predecessor and friend, Kim Wong, who will now assume the role of immediate past chair of the board and who will be on the board of directors with me for the next 12 months. I want to take this opportunity to thank Kim for all of the work he did over the last 12 months leading Acbsp to what have been some of the most interesting and challenging times in our history. Few people will ever know the full extent of the work that he did and the accomplishments Acbsp achieved while he was chair of the board. But for those of us who had the privilege enough to work with him over the past year, we are extremely grateful for his insightful leadership. I personally owe Kim a great deal of debt for all of the advice and wise counsel he's given me for this last year, and I look forward to benefiting from even more of it over the next year. As chair of the board of directors, it will be my job, along with the other members of your board, to oversee and lead the association through the next 12 months. Helping me to accomplish that will be your chair-elect, Debbie Gaspard, and your vice chair, Paul Stump. For those of you who have not yet seen it, I did a video which went over the goals and objectives for the organization for the next 1 to 3 years, which Debbie and Paul, with Kim's help, helped me to put together jointly to act as a roadmap for the work of the board over the time of our combined tenures and as a basis for the chairs to follow us. You can find that video on the Acbsp website and on the Acbsp Conference 2020 website, and I recommend that you watch it to get a window into what we hope to accomplish. It should be noted, though, that the video was made before the changes that have rocked the world in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd. As a result, we have added a sixth goal to the list, dealing with ensuring that diversity, equity, and inclusion are more visibly and permanently embedded into the intent and operations of Acbsp. More on that in future updates, though. So, on to the point of this video. An update of what's happening in Acbsp over the next little while. I think the biggest news right now is the success of our first ever virtual conference. Acbsp Conference 2020 was held the fourth week of June. The largest number of registrants ever to participate in an Acbsp annual conference was 875, which was the last time we were in Chicago at the same hotel that we would have met if we'd met face-to-face in June. The virtual version of the 2020 conference had over 1,800 registrants, more than double our previous biggest number. So for all of those of you who attended, thanks for being a part of this historic event. While we miss getting together face-to-face and spending time with each other, the virtual conference did allow a lot of people to attend who might not otherwise have gotten to be there. I know my institution may well have sent 3 or 4 people to the face-to-face version, but under the virtual version, we registered over 20. That means that many of my colleagues got to experience Acbsp for the first time, and that's good for them and for Acbsp, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of your institutions. In terms of programming, we were able to put together a great program with content, topics, and speakers, and we've received a lot of very positive feedback from attendants about the quality of the conference. People, some of whom have been spending a lot of time in virtual conferences of late, have commented that this was one, if not the best, virtual conference they've ever attended. We had individual sessions that attracted as many as 500 individual participants, and between the 3 tracks that we ran each hour, we were attracting between 500 and 700 people. So while it's safe to say that not everyone registered attended every session, it is safe to say that a lot of people attended at least some of the sessions, and that's good news for everyone. In fact, we know that over 1,500 individual session logins occurred. All of this success was a direct result of the work of our incredible home office staff. On behalf of all of us, I just want to thank our President and CEO, Jeffrey Alderman, and all of the home office staff for doing such a great job in pivoting and putting on a successful conference. They all worked a lot of nights and weekends, both before and during the conference, and we all owe them a debt of gratitude. No one attending the conference got to see the work going on behind the scenes, but it was substantial and impressive. I would also like to thank all of our conference presenters and panelists, as well as our sponsors who stood by us and supported the conference, even though it moved to a virtual format. So people are already asking, would we do another virtual conference? The answer is maybe. While we all hope to be back in person meeting in June 20 of 2021 in Miami, Florida, we were also discussing how we might use our newfound knowledge and skills to provide even more value to you, the members of the association. Nothing's been decided yet, but the board will be discussing ideas like adding a virtual track to the next face-to-face conference, running a mid-year virtual conference, or perhaps running some other forms of virtual events. Be aware, though, that all of this is under discussion and no decisions have been made yet. If you have any feedback on Acbsp Conference 2020, please don't hesitate to send it to me or to Jeff Alderman at the head office. We'll also be sending out a survey soon, which will go out to all participants and will provide you another way to provide feedback. Also, remember that all of the live sessions will be added to the On-Demand tab this month, where conference registrants will be able to access them for up to 1 year and watch any session that they could not attend live during the conference. Just use your registration link, visit the virtual lobby, and click the On-Demand tab. As we move on from the annual conference, the major events on the horizon will include this fall's regional conferences. It's my hope that I would be able to join many of you in person at your regional conferences, but as always, the safety of our members and staff is our first concern. Following that logic and the uncertainty of the ability of many of our members to travel during their second half of 2020, 10 out of our 11 regions have already made the decision to hold their conferences virtually, while the remaining region is still in discussions. While this means that I will not be able to join some of you in person, it does mean that I'll hopefully be able to join or participate in many, if not most, of the regional conferences virtually. So I'm looking forward to interacting with as many of you as possible this fall and encourage all of you to register as participants in your regional conferences. Remember, all Acbsp events are put on for the benefit of you, the members, and it's your participation that makes them a success. Also, keep in mind and keep an eye on the Acbsp website and your email accounts, as we will soon be releasing a list of upcoming webinars and other virtual events that will run through the fall up to the end of the calendar year. It is our hope that by January 2021, we'll be able to resume some face-to-face events, but in the meantime, to be safe again and protect our members and staff, most of our events will be virtual. So, your board will be meeting again August 11th, and I will have another update for you then, if not before. In the meantime, I wish you all a wonderful summer. Please stay happy, healthy, and safe.